right, deep divers, welcome back. Today, we are diving into some, let's just say, choppy waters.
Choppy is putting it lightly.
Well, we're going to tackle Trump's recent speech to Congress,
Okay.
specifically focusing on all the fallout surrounding his claims about Social Security.
Right.
We're looking at news articles, political analyses, fact checks,
Yes.
all that good stuff.
It's a lot.
All hot off the press, too.
Oh, yeah. It's all happening right now.
So strap in because, well, is Social Security really on the verge of collapse?
Right.
What is the truth behind all these allegations of fraud?
Buckle up, everybody. This one's a doozy.
So, okay, first off,
Yeah.
the speech itself felt, I don't know, different.
Different how?
I mean, past presidents have used these addresses to Congress to call for unity,
Right.
to lay out their vision for the country,
Big picture stuff.
Yeah, big picture stuff. This felt more like, let me guess,
I don't know.
a campaign rally.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
What's with that?
Experts are calling this, well, they have a term for it. Permanent campaign.
Oh, okay.
And we've seen it throughout Trump's career, even back in his first term.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not...
He's always campaigning,
Yeah.
always rallying his base.
I see.
Never stops.
So this speech was just
It's
another rally, basically.
yeah.
Okay, well then how about the Social Security stuff?
Yes.
Trump repeated this very specific claim.
Oh, yeah, the one about
Yeah.
people over 100 getting benefits.
Yes, like millions of them.
Millions and millions.
And there's all this fraud and abuse going on,
Rampant, apparently.
and everyone's just letting it happen.
Well, that's where the fact checks come in.
Right.
And they've pretty much debunked this whole thing.
Really?
Completely.
Wow.
Several sources, Social Security experts, they've all weighed in. And even, get this,
Yeah.
Trump's own acting SSA commissioner
Oh, wow.
has refuted this claim. No way.
Oh, yeah.
So even his own administration is...
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
They're pointing out that the SSA has a system that automatically stops payments at age 115.
So no one
No one over 115 is getting benefits.
in the White House
Yeah.
even Googled this
Apparently not.
before the speech.
Nope.
Wow.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
This whole dead people getting benefits thing,
Yeah.
it seems to tie into a much bigger Republican strategy.
Oh.
We've seen it before with other social programs.
Okay.
It's about creating this perception of waste fraud, whipping up public anger.
I see.
And then they use that anger to justify cuts.
Yeah. So it's like
Classic playbook.
create a problem and then present yourself as the solution.
Exactly.
And this isn't just about Social Security either, right?
Right. And that's the really, really scary part.
Oh, no.
Because the sources are finding parallels between these Social Security fraud claims and Trump's claims about election fraud in 2020.
Oh, yeah. Dead people voting.
Exactly.
It's like he's using the same playbook
Game playbook, different target.
to undermine trust
Absolutely.
in these institutions.
And when you erode that trust,
Right.
it becomes so much easier to push through drastic changes.
Okay, so that brings us to DOGE.
Ah, yes, the efficiency experts.
Sources are reporting some concerning stuff.
Like what?
Layoffs at the SSA offices closing down, restrictions on internet access for employees.
Can't be reading any general news.
Yeah.
Really makes you think, huh?
This is giving me some serious, Musk vibes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely some parallels there.
I mean, and then the timing of it all.
Suspicious, isn't it?
DOGE gets involved.
Right when these attacks ramp up.
Right when Trump's calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme?
Yep.
It's just way too convenient.
It's all connected.
So what is the end game here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got this coordinated attack on Social Security, painting it as this broken system full of fraud and abuse.
Right.
And at the same time,
Yeah.
they're gutting the agency responsible for running it.
So it's all a setup,
Seems like it.
like a classic bait and switch.
Promise to protect something while you dismantle it.
And all of this is happening against the backdrop of this huge Republican budget plan.
Calling for deep cuts to all sorts of programs.
So this whole fraud thing
It's all smoke and
is
mirrors.
just setting the stage for those cuts.
Make them more palatable to the public.
Oh, man. And the sources really drive home the impact these cuts could have.
It's not good.
Especially for women,
Women and families.
children, the elderly.
I mean, did you see that statistic about how half of all U.S. children rely on Medicaid?
It's mind-blowing.
It's huge.
And guess what's on the chopping block?
Oh, no.
You guessed it, Medicaid.
So we're not just talking about numbers on a balance sheet.
Right. This is about
People's lives.
real people's lives.
Women's health care.
Yeah.
Children's access to basic services.
It's all at stake.
It's scary stuff.
And what makes it even more alarming
Mm-hmm.
is the response.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, from some folks.
Right.
The sources highlight the Democrats who are, pushing back.
Yeah, folks like Rep. Jeffries,
Right.
Senator Sanders, they're calling out the lies,
Mm-hmm.
pushing for expanding Social Security.
Holding the line.
Absolutely.
But then there are others who are taking a wait-and-see approach.
They call it that.
It's like there's a debate going on within the Democratic Party
Oh, yeah, huge strategic debate.
about how to handle this.
Push back hard
Yeah.
or be more strategic.
I mean, on the one hand, you don't want to let these lies stand.
Right.
But on the other hand, you don't want to give them more attention.
It's a tough call.
It's a tough call, yeah.
And it doesn't help that the public is already so distrustful
Of everything.
of everything, yeah.
It's like, how do you even have a rational conversation
It's almost impossible
when everyone's
when no one trusts anyone.
Yeah.
It's like trying to herd cats.
exhausting?
It is. It really is. It's exhausting for everyone.
And that fatigue, it's dangerous.
It is, because those in power, they count on that.
Yeah.
They want you to get tired, to give up.
So they can push through whatever they want.
Exactly.
So, okay, to recap.
Yeah.
We've got these attacks on Social Security,
Right.
potential cuts to Medicaid,
Mm-hmm.
tax cuts that benefit the wealthy.
Disproportionately, yeah.
And on top of all that,
Yeah.
this deliberate effort to erode public trust.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and honestly, it's pretty overwhelming.
The sources, they don't sugarcoat it either.
What do you mean?
They paint a pretty bleak picture of the potential consequences.
Oh,
Like millions of people losing access to health care,
Yeah.
retirement benefits.
It's
And that's not even considering the ripple effects.
on the economy, society. Exactly.
This is big.
Huge.
And don't forget the impact on women's health specifically.
Right.
One source even calls it,
Oh, which one?
Republicans want to put poor people through hell to fund tax cuts for the rich.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one pulls no punches.
Oh, it doesn't.
It goes into detail about how these cuts could devastate maternal health care,
Yeah.
access to reproductive health services.
So it's not just,
It's a targeted attack on women,
Yes.
especially women of color, women in rural areas.
it's like they're dismantling the very systems that people rely on.
And it's all driven by ideology, not evidence.
Yeah, speaking of ideology driving policy,
Mm-hmm.
several sources also point to the role of anti-trans groups.
Oh, yeah. They've been pushing these debunked theories about gender-affirming care.
And it's working.
It is, sadly.
Oh, wait.
This misinformation, it finds its way into executive orders,
Fully.
state laws.
So it has real-world consequences.
Absolutely.
This is just, it's cruel,
It is.
discriminatory, and dangerous.
And the source, Trump banned gender,
Yeah.
really highlights the impact this is having.
On trans youth, their families,
It's heartbreaking.
canceled appointments, increased anxiety
It's like they're creating a hierarchy.
of who deserves care.
And who doesn't?
It's a dangerous path.
Very dehumanizing.
And you know who always ends up at the bottom of that hierarchy?
The most vulnerable.
Exactly, those who are already marginalized.
It's classic divide and conquer.
Textbook.
So what about Congress?
Ah, yes.
How are they responding?
It's a mixed bag, really.
Meaning?
We've got Democrats like Rep. Jeffries calling out the lies,
Mm.
Senator Sanders pushing for expanding Social Security.
Right.
But then you have folks like Representative Slotkin
Yeah.
who are taking a more measured approach.
Trying to find common ground.
Yeah, building consensus.
So there's a strategic debate happening.
Oh, absolutely.
How to handle the...
Do you fight fire with fire,
Yeah.
or do you try to be the voice of reason?
Tough choices.
And it's all happening in this environment of distrust.
Yeah, where no one trusts anyone.
It makes it so much harder to have a productive conversation.
It's exhausting.
It really is.
I feel like we're constantly on guard,
Yeah.
having to fact check everything.
And that fatigue, That's what they want.
They take
People in power, the ones pushing this agenda.
we can't give up.
Exactly.
We have to stay vigilant.
Informed.
Keep fighting.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And we're not alone.
Absolutely not. There are millions of us.
Millions of people who are worried about this.
And the sources, they highlight the power of collective action.
Like,
Organizations providing access to abortion pills.
okay.
Groups organizing protests against these policies.
So there's still hope.
There's always hope.
Yeah.
The human spirit, it's resilient.
It is.
When we come together, we can overcome anything.
All right. Well, that was a lot.
A lot to unpack.
It's alarming, it's concerning, but it's also,
Motivating.
yeah,
I think so. Because we can't just sit back and let this happen.
we have to do something.
Exactly. And that's where you come in, listener.
Yes, listener, we need you.
We've laid out the situation.
Yeah, we've gone through the sources
Now we need you to think about what you can do
to protect these
for
programs.
yourself, for your family, for future generations.
This is bigger than just politics.
This is about our lives,
Our future.
the kind of society we want to live in.
What kind of world do you want to leave behind?
That's what we should all be asking ourselves.
It's a lot to think about, isn't it? And the sources also talk about the role of misinformation in all of this.
Oh, yeah, that's a big piece of the puzzle.
There's all these debunked theories
Like straight up lies.
being spread about Social Security and healthcare.
Create doubt, make people question what's true.
Yeah, and then they swoop in with their own agenda.
Classic tactic.
And it's working, right?
Sadly, it seems to be.
Some media outlets and politicians.
They're amplifying this misinformation.
And it just makes the whole trust issue even worse.
Absolutely, it's a vicious cycle.
So it's not just the policies, it's how they're selling them to the public.
Right, framing it as a problem that needs fixing,
Making those cuts seem reasonable, even necessary.
even though they could hurt millions of people.
So we have to be careful what we believe, what we share.
Be a critical consumer of information.
It's like we all need to be our own fact checkers now.
In a way, yeah.
It can feel overwhelming.
It is, but there are resources out there to help.
Really? Like what?
Organizations like factcheck.org, PolitiFact, they do great work debunking false claims.
So even though it feels like we're drowning in all this misinformation,
Yeah,
there's still hope.
there's always hope.
We just have to be proactive.
Exactly. Stay informed, ask questions,
Don't be afraid to challenge what you hear.
especially when it comes from those in power.
You've given us a lot to think about today.
It's been a deep dive, that's for sure.
The future of Social Security and healthcare, it's uncertain.
Yeah, a lot at stake.
We all need to stay informed, stay engaged.
This is where you come in, listener.
What do you think, listener? What are your thoughts?
We've explored the sources, we've laid it all out.
Yeah, we've looked at the facts, the claims, the potential consequences.
Now it's up to you.
What can you do to protect these programs?
For yourself, for your family, for the future.
This isn't just some abstract political debate.
This is about real people's lives.
Our lives.
The kind of society we want to build.
What kind of future do we want to create?
Those are the questions we need to be asking.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a heavy one, but an important one.
Knowledge is power.
So stay informed, stay engaged.
And let's keep pushing for a better future.
We can do this together.
We'll see you next time on the deep dive.